In the book of Deuteronomy, we find a powerful message woven through the words of Moses. This message is not just a historical account, but a divine promise that transcends time and space. It's a message of God's unwavering faithfulness, human frailty, and the incredible victory that comes through divine grace. These themes resonate deeply, reminding us of the eternal truths that guide our lives. This ancient story, though thousands of years old, speaks directly to our lives today. It bridges the gap between the past and the present, showing us that the lessons learned by the Israelites are still relevant. It reminds us that no matter how strong we may think we are, true victory comes only through God's power. Our human efforts, while important, are insufficient without divine intervention. Deuteronomy 9 picks up on the Israelites' journey to the Promised Land. This journey was fraught with challenges, yet it was also filled with moments of divine intervention and guidance. They are on the verge of a new beginning, ready to step into a future brimming with God's blessings. The Promised Land symbolizes not just a physical territory, but a place of spiritual fulfillment and divine favor. But before they cross the Jordan River, Moses gathers them. He knows the importance of this moment and wants to ensure they are spiritually prepared for what lies ahead. He wants to make sure they understand a vital truth, a truth that would determine their success or failure in the land. This truth is foundational, affecting every aspect of their lives. This truth wasn't about military strategy or human strength. It wasn't about their own abilities or plans. It was about something far greater, far more powerful. It was about the divine presence that would go before them and secure their victory. It was about recognizing God's grace as the sole source of their victory. This grace was not earned but freely given, a testament to God's love and mercy. As we delve into this chapter, we'll uncover timeless principles that are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. These principles guide us in our daily lives, offering wisdom and direction. We'll learn about the dangers of pride, the importance of humility, and the transformative power of God's grace. These lessons are crucial for our spiritual growth and understanding. Most importantly, we'll be reminded that our God is a God of second chances, always ready to forgive and empower us to live victoriously. This message of hope and redemption is timeless, offering us a path to renewal and strength. Imagine standing on the edge of a vast river, the Promised Land stretching out before you, lush and inviting. A land flowing with milk and honey, a place of abundance and peace. This was the scene for the Israelites. After years of wandering in the desert, they were finally on the brink of their heart's desire. They had endured hardships, hunger and thirst, but now the fulfillment of God's promise was within sight. But there was a catch. A formidable obstacle stood in their way, the Jordan River. The river at flood stage represented a very real danger. Its waters were deep and swift, a natural barrier that seemed impossible to cross. It was a swirling barrier between where they were and where God wanted them to be. A test of their resolve and trust in divine guidance. It was a test of their faith, a moment where fear could have easily taken root and paralyzed them. The sight of the raging waters could have filled their hearts with doubt and hesitation. But God, in His infinite mercy, had a plan that required their active participation and unwavering faith. He didn't part the waters immediately. The river continued to flow, its currents undeterred. He didn't remove the challenge. Instead, He called them to face it head-on. Instead, He instructed the priests to step into the raging river, carrying the Ark of the Covenant, a symbol of His presence. This act of faith was crucial, and as their feet touched the water, something miraculous happened. The waters began to recede, creating a path where there was none. The waters parted, creating a dry path for the entire nation to cross, a path that led them to their long-awaited promise. This powerful image serves as a reminder for us today, a reminder that faith can move mountains and part waters. We too face our own Jordan rivers, challenges, fears and uncertainties that stand between us and the promises of God. These obstacles can seem insurmountable, but they are not. But this story encourages us to step out in faith even when we don't see the whole picture, to trust in God's plan and timing. It reminds us that God is with us, ready to make a way where there seems to be no way. His presence is our assurance, and His power is our path to victory. Before leading the Israelites across the Jordan, Moses delivered a powerful message. He wanted to ensure they understood one crucial truth. Their victory was not a result of their own righteousness or strength. It was purely and simply by the grace of God. He reminded them of their past failures, their rebellion, and their tendency to stray from God's commands. He knew the human heart was prone to pride and self-reliance, easily forgetting the source of their blessings. It is not because of your righteousness or your upright heart that you're going in to possess their land, Moses declared, but because of the wickedness of these nations that the Lord your God is driving them out from before you, and that He may confirm the word which the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and to Jacob. Deuteronomy 9, verse 5. This message is crucial for us today. We are all susceptible to taking credit for our successes, attributing our achievements to our own abilities. But true success, true victory comes from recognizing our dependence on God. It's about acknowledging that without His grace, we are nothing and can achieve nothing of lasting value. Section 4. The Golden Calf, a lesson in idolatry, Deuteronomy. Chapter 9 serves as a stark reminder of human fallibility and the ease with which we can stray from our spiritual path. It recounts the Israelites' grave sin with the golden calf, an event that exposed the fragility of human faithfulness and the ever-present temptation to turn away from God. This moment in history is not just a story of the past, but a reflection of the ongoing struggle within the human heart. While Moses was on Mount Sinai receiving the Ten Commandments, the Israelites, impatient and fearful, constructed a golden calf to worship. They sought a tangible representation of the divine, something they could see and touch, forgetting the invisible yet omnipresent God who had led them out of Egypt. They allowed their hearts to be swayed by immediate gratification, forgetting the God who had delivered them from slavery and promised them a land flowing with milk and honey. Their actions were driven by a desire for comfort and security, revealing how easily we can be led astray when we lose sight of our faith. This incident, though occurring thousands of years ago, holds a powerful message for us today. The essence of idolatry remains the same, even if the forms it takes have evolved over time. We may not be building physical idols, but what about the idols of our hearts? These modern idols can be just as consuming and distracting as the golden calf was for the Israelites. What consumes our thoughts, our time, and our resources? Are we dedicating ourselves to pursuits that ultimately leave us empty, or are we seeking fulfillment in our relationship with God? Are we more focused on pursuing wealth, status, or pleasure than on seeking God's presence and guidance? These modern-day idols can take many forms, from material possessions to social status, and even to the relentless pursuit of personal success. The story of the golden calf serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us to guard our hearts against idolatry in all its forms. It calls us to reflect on what we truly value and to ensure that our devotion remains steadfast. It reminds us to keep our priorities in check, ensuring that God remains at the center of our lives, not relegated to the sidelines. By doing so, we can navigate the complexities of modern life with a clear sense of purpose and direction, grounded in our faith. Section 5. The peril of pride, the power of humility. One of the most dangerous pitfalls for the Israelites, and for us today, is pride. Deuteronomy chapter 9 warns against the arrogance that comes from forgetting our dependence on God. It reminds us that true strength lies in humility, in acknowledging our weaknesses and embracing God's grace. Moses reminds the Israelites, "Do not say in your heart, when the Lord your God has driven them out before you, 'It is because of my righteousness that the Lord has brought me in to possess this land,' whereas it is because of the wickedness of these nations that the Lord is dispossessing them from before you." Pride can blind us to our flaws, leading us to believe we are self-sufficient and don't need God. It creates a dangerous separation between us and our Creator, making us vulnerable to the very mistakes we vowed never to repeat. Humility, on the other hand, opens our hearts to God's transformative power. It allows us to recognize our need for His guidance, His forgiveness, and His strength. It creates a space for God to work in us, transforming us from the inside out. Section 6. Remembering our past, shaping our future. The Israelites' journey was marked by both miraculous deliverances and disheartening failures. Deuteronomy chapter 9 emphasizes the importance of remembering their past, both the good and the bad, as a guide for their future. Moses reminds them of their rebellion, their complaints, and their tendency to doubt God's faithfulness. He doesn't shy away from exposing their shortcomings. Why? Because remembering their past mistakes was crucial to avoiding repeating them. We too must learn from our past. Our mistakes, our failures, and our moments of weakness are not meant to haunt us, but to teach us valuable lessons. They are opportunities for growth, for refining our character, and for deepening our dependence on God. Remember the times you strayed from God's path, the times you allowed fear or doubt to cloud your judgment. Don't run from those memories. Instead, examine them. What can you learn from those experiences? How can they help you make wiser choices and walk in greater obedience to God's will?